show. It's our very first show, and we're so glad to have you here. And what better way to start off this whole show than to talk about the foundation of our health, and that's our gut. Gut health is so important. And so for me, that was the beginning of my Young Living journey. That's the first thing that I started working on is my gut health, and NingXia Red was a huge part of that.
For me, it was my first challenge, because I grew up in a culture where we didn't talk about the gut. We didn't talk about anything that had to do with gut. And so that was always kind of a, oh, that's your own problem kind of thing. And that had to be broken. And once that was broken and I really started digging into our products, game changer, total game changer.
Absolutely.
For everything, skin, hair, nails, immune system. I mean, everything starts with the gut.
Absolutely. For me, NingXia Red, like that was everything. I had picky eaters, and starting with NingXia Red in our daily life, we start off with about 2 ounces, and my picky eaters started craving healthier food, because I think it really started waking up their cells to what they actually need with good nutrition. And for myself, drinking NingXia Red actually started getting things moving. I mean, my entire life, okay, on this show, we're going to talk about everything.
Break it down.
We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about
poop per day.
You cannot talk about the gut without talking about number 2, okay?
Exactly.
We should call this TMI.
Right?
Yeah, we call it the whole show TMI. TMI. Well, I mean, that was for me, and I had a lifetime of being constipated, and we didn't talk about that in my home, and it led to so many other health issues. And but gut health is so important. There's also different connections from the gut to the rest of our body. Like you mentioned, like the immune system and also the brain. I remember Deborah Starkey, that's my oil mentor, and a lot of y'all know her. She once said, many a foggy brain cleared up once the plumbing cleared up.
Yes.
And I was like, what? No way. But then the first day I did the 5-day, or the first time I did the 5-day cleanse that Young Living has, which by the way, here it is, it's NingXia Red. You actually have 2 bottles of NingXia Red that you drink in 5 days, plus you have the Balance Complete, and then also Digest and Cleanse. And this cleanse is very foundational. It's nutritive. What does that mean? In 5 days, you're going to pump so much nutrients to your liver. And also the Digest and Cleanse, it's essential oils all in a capsule, and it starts breaking up the junk in your gut. And then you've got the fiber in Balance Complete. You can also add a little ICP Daily, by the way, in that, and it really gets things moving. It's nutritive, so meaning it's going to set a really great foundation for whatever you're going to do after that, whether it's a targeted cleanse or whether it's, whatever organ that you're going to work on. So it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, after I did the 5-day cleanse the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, like my brain was just, everything was bright, the colors were brighter, the sounds were more clear, like everything. I didn't know that I had
You didn't know that you didn't feel good.
Right.
Until you realized that you were feeling better.
Right.
And you're like, no, I was not feeling well.
Yeah.
You can ask my kids now. Every time they say they feel off or feel bad, my first question is, when's the last time you pooped?
Yeah.
And they're like, my son are like, oh, don't ask me about the he'll tell I feel like, oh, don't ask me. And that's the question though. That's the question. Yeah. Because if it's not moving along, it's backing up, and if it's backing up, you're feeling bad, no matter what.
Absorbing toxins back into your bloodstream.
Yes.
Absolutely. How about y'all? Anybody else use the 5-day cleanse? What was your experience?
I've not done the 5-day cleanse. Don't kick me off the show. Don't kick me off the show. I've not done the 5-day cleanse. However,
This is not that show.
Not that show.
We vote her off.
yes, bump me off the island.
It's that other show, not that reality.
So, but I will say, I have never personally had an issue being regular. I've always I may have been over regular. But I will say that anytime that I'm feeling not as regular, I'm telling you, NingXia Red is something that will make things move along, even if you don't have any of these other products.
Right.
If you've ever been to an event, a Young Living event anywhere, I mean, the NingXia Red is flowing, and you're also flowing.
You're flowing.
were glowing as
Everybody
well
is
as the NingXia Red is glowing.
But it's a healthy food. It is healthy food.
I didn't like put that connection together, so I went to a couple events and I was just like, I think it's the NingXia Red. I think it's all this
It
stuff I'm
is.
drinking.
It is an NingXia, and I will tell you, if I cleanse a lot, at least quarterly, and our team has decided we're going to start doing it together because it really helps when you have people doing it with you.
Yes.
Especially if you're the only one in your home and you're cleansing, you are making food for everybody else.
Oh, my word.
So the next time I cleanse, you join me.
Yeah.
We'll do it together.
Okay, well, I have done other cleanses. I just have never.
This one.
I've never done this one.
This one we
because-
could do together, and we, as a team, we do it quarterly. So it kind of creates. You need accountability with this because you don't want to feel we're not an island.
Yeah.
Or we are not an island. We are not islands. So connect to that community. Connect to your community. Yeah.
It is about accountability, but it's also about community. And I think, in my mind, those things kind of are opposite to me. I don't know. Accountability is like, and community is like, yes, hug.
Right.
But it does help when you do it with people.
Absolutely. And you know what? With the 5-day nutritive cleanse, I really feel like some people do discount it if they feel like, things are moving along, or maybe they have opposite diarrhea. And I mean but that's also evidence that the gut needs support no matter what. And the 5-day nutritive cleanse is not just about the colon. Like I said, it's about the liver. Oh my word, the nutrients in NingXia Red, the liver loves. And if you're about to ask your liver to do a lot of hard work afterwards, it needs the fuel. I mean, this is the fuel for organs to be able to function how they need to function. And so it's just, I love how I feel after those 5 days. And for anybody wondering, what's the 5-day cleanse? Like, how do you do it? And so basically you're drinking 2 ounces of NingXia Red 3 times a day. Then you're taking a digest and cleanse. Usually I take it with my NingXia Red and then wait about 30 minutes or so and then have my meal, my breakfast or my lunch or my dinner, which is replaced with the Balanced Complete Shake. And so, and I've got lots of great tips. I've done the 5-day cleanse so many times. Oh my word. But anyway, I feel so satisfied that I don't really need snacks. In between, you can have some little snacks like fruits and nuts and veggies if you want to. I remember the first time my husband did the 5-day cleanse with me, which I had done it so many times for years. Several years. I did it every 3 months. And so finally Darren was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do the 5-day cleanse with you. But he was so concerned that he would be hungry. And he was shocked. He was like, by dinner, he was like, do I have to have the 3rd shake? Really? I'm totally satisfied. But why are we satisfied? Because our cells are getting the nutrients.
Yes.
And I would say the number one question people have when they cleanse is, am I going to be in the bathroom all day? Which I have not. Everyone that I've known that has done this has said it is very simple. It's something that you can do, with your job, at work. No matter where you are, you don't have to worry about.
It's not a
staying
harsh.
close to the potty.
Yeah, it's not a harsh flush.
Yeah.
It's a gentle cleanse.
Right.
Yes. Now, if there's somebody that's like, okay, I still really think that I could, well, then start it on a Saturday. Start it on a day
Give it a try,
that you know that you're going to be home and give that a try. But yes, it's gentle. It's a gentle cleanse. And we definitely, it's a great place to start. I brought you on so that I could show you some of the things that I do. I know you love to make smoothies.
Yes, I do love a good smoothie, and I love them super cold.
I'm just going to show you a few variations, and I'm going to make one of them. Okay, so a real easy variation is adding in your frozen blueberries and frozen strawberries. Mix it up with different frozen fruit, and that's a really good way. Another one that I really love to do is to add just a little bit of Pure Protein Complete.
Oh, yes.
And I love the chocolate. So
love the chocolate.
Pure Protein Complete.
My favorite.
It is mine too. And so I'll add a little bit of Pure Protein Complete to my Balanced Complete powder in the blender. And then I'll add in some almond butter. And I like to use raw almond butter.
Yep.
organic raw almond butter, and add that in there. And then I'll add in some ice. Some people like to add in a little bit of frozen bananas and then mix that up. And it tastes so yummy
and creamy.
Okay, but you know what? I had an idea. And I know we're both foodies.
Yes.
And so you're always coming up with great recipe ideas and mixing things up. So I had this idea while I was at Whole Foods. And I thought, oh my word, I hadn't even thought of this, but I want to make a pina colada. Balance Complete smoothie.
That's right.
I was like, oh, this would taste so good. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I actually, y'all, I've not ever done this before. This is the first time. So I'm sure I love Balance Complete. So it's going to taste really good.
It is. You can't mess
so,
it up.
yeah. So you're just adding a little extra flavor. So here's what I've done. I've already put 4 ounces of water in my blender container here. And normally you'd put 8 ounces of water with your Balance Complete, and it's creamy because there's the whey protein in there.
Right.
But I bought a can of organic coconut milk, and I scooped out a little bit of the cream off the top, and then I have it's 4 ounces of the coconut milk and cream from that. And so I'm just gonna add this in here, and then I'm gonna put in some frozen pineapples. Oh my word, this is gonna be so good. I don't know.
And pineapple is so good for you. Oh my goodness.
And it has a great enzyme called bromelain, and it's so wonderful for your gut. And that's why you're usually doing the 5-day cleanse, is for gut health, right? So last but not least, I'm gonna put a couple of scoops of my Balance Complete in here.
And I love the vanilla flavor that's in there. It tastes really good.
It is.
Yes.
The vanilla is really good, and it becomes a really good base by which you can, make some different flavors if you want to. It's good on its own. I remember Ethan, so my youngest, and he's 14 and a half.
Yeah.
And so when he was little, I would be doing my 5-day cleanse and make my Balance Complete shake, and every time he would drink it. Like, he would come, Mom, Balance Complete, and he was like 2 or 3, and he would chug the thing down. I'm like, that was mine. Like, oh my word, so
I'll make another one.
I know, but then I was like, I need to make 15 of these.
Yes.
So, oh my. So anyway, so here we go. I'm gonna just tighten this on, and let's see. I think it's gonna be really yummy. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I'm really excited. I'm just gonna drink it right out of the container. Oh wait, you should probably have some too. You know what?
Okay.
It's all good.
You can have some. You do it.
Here, I'll have, here. You don't want it? You're gonna taste
try
it,
it
girl.
too.
You're gonna
Okay, I'll
taste
try
it.
it.
So here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pour some in here for you.
Okay, I'm gonna drink it out of the bowl.
You improvise. That's what you do. You're gonna drink it out of a bowl. Okay, and we'll cheers.
Cheers.
We're gonna cheers. Oh my word, it's so good.
So
It's our
good.
pina colada. Balance
Perfect
Complete
balance.
smoothie. And it's such a great option to add to my 5-day cleanse. You're going to have another? Okay. Enjoy.
Talia, some people say that leafy greens are the #1 thing for colon health.
Well, I think fiber makes a solid number 2. Hi, I'm Talia,
And I'm Wendy.
and this
Is the Science Highlight.
Our product highlight this month is NingXia Red and the NingXia Wolfberry. This berry has been known as the herb of transcendence and the red diamond. It dates as far back as the Ming Dynasty and is so prized that they actually hold a 2-week festival for it every year in China. Some of the Chinese Olympic coaches actually tout this as their secret weapon.
There are over 80 species of wolfberry. What makes this one so special?
Well, organic farming techniques, optimal irrigation from the Yellow River, which is really rich in minerals, in conjunction with wide temperature fluctuations, a semi-arid condition, and plenty of sunlight, assure that the nutritional content of the NingXia wolfberry is very high. It's also really high in antioxidants. In fact, 1 ounce of NingXia Red has the same amount of antioxidants as 814 blueberries. Antioxidants actually help to modulate the oxidation cycle in our body. Now, oxidation is a normal process, but it can get really out of whack from additional stress and our lifestyle choices. Oxidation messes up our cell membranes. It makes the cells stiff and not able to exchange nutrients and waste. It also messes with cell communication. When this happens, our cells change and they are not able to keep up with the oxidation cycle.
We need to make sure that we're taking in good antioxidant foods then.
We sure do. In fact, the NingXia wolfberry is also really rich in phytochemicals. For instance, polysaccharides are very high in fiber. These are good carbohydrates for your cells. Studies have shown that these polysaccharides support immune function, increase total antioxidant activity, and keep your bowels moving due to the high fiber content. In fact, the wolfberry is 21% fiber by weight. That's the highest of any other whole food. It's also the highest in beta carotene of all edible plants. This is great for our eyes, our skin, our bones, and our cells. And zeaxanthin is another polysaccharide. This supports immune function and our eyes as well. Studies specifically on NingXia Red have shown an increase in general well-being, energy, quality of sleep, and time asleep, healthy inflammation responses, and mental well-being. And it's actually shown a decrease in stress, physical limitations, and cold and flu symptoms, and support for our respiratory function. We need this for immunity and longevity. It keeps things moving smoothly.
NingXia Red also has 21 trace minerals, 18 amino acids, more vitamin C than oranges, vitamins E, B1, B2, and B6. I think we should take a shot.
I think that's a great idea. Cheers.
Hi, everybody. I'm Beverly. This is Elyse, and this is Zoe.
I've raised Zoe on NingXia. When she was younger, she would drink a lot of it, but nowadays she'll only take a couple sips. Do you have any idea why?
Okay, that's a good question. So here's the deal with NingXia. So as a grown adult, I do 2 ounces 3 times a day. But for a dog, what's she like?
She's 7 pounds.
7 pounds. So that's the number one thing I run into with dog owners, like, but they won't drink the whole packet. Well, they don't need 2 ounces. She's 7 pounds, so she really only needs that little bit that she's lapping up. That's really all she needs. So when you're giving it to a small dog this, I would just get it out of a bottle and a dropper, and that few little drops is all this little body needs. It has all the antioxidants and all the great nutritives that this little body needs. So that's what you can do. You can also take it and water it down a little bit in the water. A lot of dogs, I know a lot of dogs that do, they put their NingXia in the water and they just drink it all day long. My dogs don't really like it in the water. I put mine in their food. So in the morning, here's another tip. If you want to give your dogs extra vitamins, an egg. 1 egg has all the multivitamins in it that a dog needs. 1 egg a day. So I crack an egg over their food. I put in their NingXia. I also put in sulfurzyme, which we'll talk about that again in a minute, and a couple of other oils depending on my mood, because my dogs get whatever I feel like they need that day, and then I mix that all up and they eat it. So that's how I do that. And so you could try it in water, you can try it straight from your dropper, or you can try adding it to food. I have another dog who's very picky. Oliver's very picky, just a bougie dog. And he will drink his NingXia, but only in wet food. So, you know, just like picky toddlers, you just kind of do what you have to do to get the nutrition into the animal.
So what else? Like, what are the cleansing trio is something that I've done as a targeted cleanse with my colon, since we are talking about poop and colon cleansing. And so if you're wondering what's the cleansing trio, well, this is a collection of products. We've got ICP, and Essential Zyme, and
Comfort Tone.
Comfort Tone. Okay, so these 3 products here. So ICP is your insoluble fiber, and insoluble fiber is the scouring brush of your colon. It's gonna just really scrub. With Comfort Tone, this is it's a gentle herbal laxative. It's not a harsh one. It is gentle, but it is really powerful. How many of y'all, does anybody else use Comfort Tone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
what do you do?
I use it on a regular basis. Regular. It's a regular basis. Well, you know, my favorite way to use Comfort Tone is every time I travel.
Yeah.
So it is non-negotiable. If I'm going on a trip, my bottle of Comfort Tone is going, because when you go on a trip, you're eating out, you're eating different than you normally do, and everything just kind of and it just keeps everything soft and moving. That's the best way to say it.
So what do you do? How do you take your Comfort Tone? When do you take it?
Well, okay, I take 2 in the morning, 2 at night. Just keep it in the system. You know?
Okay, good. Yeah. What about y'all? How many does it take for you?
I don't need Comfort Tone.
This is a side, we don't need
my
it.
product.
We don't need it.
Send it down there.
It's pretty rare that I pull it out, and when I do 1 tablet right before bed, and I'm good, because I'm like Talia, I don't get constipated. I tend to the other
If you have a
direction.
If you have anything, I need ICP to slow me down.
Right.
Well, the other thing the great thing about Comfort Tone is when we're cleansing and when we are working on targeting things. So I do the Balance Complete, but then after I did the 5-day cleanse, I worked on my liver. Yeah. So I was taking Juvatone, and I wanted to make sure things kept moving out. Yeah. Oh. But one thing too, I really believe that focusing on when you're removing things, you're also removing emotions. And so for me, Comfort Tone helps nothing to get bottled up, if so to speak. So you are really, I've even experienced emotional releases when I've done a cleanse, because if we think about what emotions are associated with the gut, you're looking at things like fear and control. So, I mean, hey, I don't deal with that. I don't know if anybody else does.
All right. Hello, Comfort Tone. But that's control. It's very interesting that the emotions that, if we don't release, everybody feels things, you feel everything, but we've got to process it through. And I don't know if it's because I'm a firstborn child. I don't know what it is, but my whole life, the Lord has always been like, Sarah, you got to let go. You got to let go. Quit holding on tight. And it's interesting that control, fear of letting go, you tend to hold that in your colon and can get constipated. Yes. And that was me. So for me, y'all, when I travel, I'm talking 5, 8, 10 Comfort Tone. It takes for me. And I also have to increase my water a lot. But that just goes to show you that all of us have different needs. Everybody has different needs, and we just have to.
And that was a very good tip I want to just come back to, is if you are adding Comfort Tone, add more water.
Yes.
You need lots and lots and lots of water if you're doing it.
And I'll also say that a lot of people think that if they have diarrhea a lot, that they don't need Comfort Tone. However, diarrhea can actually be advanced constipation. So if you are in a chronic state of diarrhea all the time, you actually could need Comfort Tone. You actually could need that, because your colon is just it's almost like it's just dumping. It's not actually moving. And so the way that works is that it actually increases that rhythmic peristalsis that happens in your colon. It helps to actually break the gunk off the walls of your colon to actually get those things moving. I know lots of people have so much bloat and so much weight that they carry in their midsections, and a lot of that is because their colons are so junked up. And so don't discount it just because you're regular.
I remember when my mom, Karen Hopkins, a lot of people know her, when she got started in Young Living, she was doing colon therapy and just really working on her colon. When she added the cleansing trio, her colon therapist was like, oh my goodness, keep that going. But it was really interesting because I remember my mom got to spend several days with Gary Young. He had this great Amazon adventure down in Ecuador, and I think it was 2009. And anyone that wanted to go could go, and my mom was like, man. So she went and she just got to learn from Gary for a very long time, for those days, like hours and hours and hours of education. And Gary had taught about how it was important to make sure your colon is moving really well and you're able to pass things through before you do a really targeted cleanse, like cleansing the liver. And I love what you said about, when you take Juvatone and the Juva products for helping to support your liver, that you're making sure that your colon is moving along.
You always need to cleanse in reverse order. So start at the end of the pipe and work your way back up.
Right. Just say something really quick on, so the Comfort Tone and the Essential Zyme together. The Essential Zyme, so this is become part of my daily life, and because I've realized how valuable they are to me. And so I like to keep things moving, just keep them moving, just soft and moving. And then, but Essential Zyme, when I learned what Essential Zyme does, and I taught my husband about it, and he's not a supplement guy. He was like, Wendy, we've got to take like 3 of those a day for the rest of our lives. I'm like, yes. Yes, we do.
Yes.
And the thing, so the Essential Zyme themselves are enteric coated. And so what that means is it doesn't break down in your stomach. So it's not helping you digest your food in your stomach. Goes on down into your colon. And so it breaks apart and eats up that crud. And we're talking about the bloat, and the people like just have always have this stuff in them. It's like on a daily basis, this is like to me a colon cleanse every day. Like it just keeps it clean and keeps things. And then you notice your skin like looks better. Everything feels better. Your joints feel better. You support the healthy inflammatory process in your body, and not experience bloat and things like that. So that's important.
Hey everyone, it is me, Amanda Joy, and I'm totally...
Excuse me. This is the gentleman's segment. Gentlemen, if you are ready for the biggest bang for your buck, we're going to talk about in the bathroom taking care of our teeth. All right, so first you're going to get, if you are down to the end of your tube of toothpaste, actually this goes for the ladies too, so sorry, but I'm just a dude, one of the dudes that's talking here. If you're tired of getting that thumb exercise by squeezing the last dang drop out of the tube of toothpaste, you're going to grab your scissors. You're going to snip it off, like so. Take your toothbrush, it's better than this one, and scoop the last little bits out of there. There's a lot of bits in here, but get the biggest bang for your buck by getting that toothpaste out. Next up we have, sometimes this Thieves mouthwash, it can be a little strong for you and for your youngins. What you're going to do is you're going to take NingXia Red bottle and empty the contents of this into there, fill it up with the rest of your favorite water that's distilled or spring filled or whatever it is, and add a few drops of orange or spearmint or whatever makes your breath fresh and awesome. So add a little bit more into there, and then you've got some diluted, more palatable, but more bang for your buck, fresh breath stuff, okay? So it's just gonna be good. Your spouse and your kids are gonna love you for it. Last but not least, if you dare, you wanna get more bang for your buck out of the floss, use it twice, all right?
This segment is called Dumb Stuff with Oils. Dumb Stuff with Oils. And so if you've been using oils for a while, you know that, there's like lots of health things you can do with your oils. But there's like another side to oils too.
Dark side.
There's a dark side. There's a personal side to oils. Painful. And sometimes like when you're in the middle of something, like your brain goes, like your brain just leaks out your ear, and like you're like, I don't know what to do, and you do something and
You respond.
you wish someone had videoed it, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, so we want you to send us your stories. But
There
to
is
kick
no
this
prize.
off, there's definitely no prize. Except that you get to be on our cool show.
And we can if you want to be laughed at a little bit, because we're laughing with you. If you're
Yes.
laughing.
Laugh with. But so to kick it off, I'm going to share my dumbest story.
Okay.
So are y'all ready?
Let's do this. Where's the popcorn?
Do you need popcorn? So I birthed very large babies, like 10 pounds, okay? And if you have birthed very large babies, there are some side effects that just naturally come along with pushing out big babies, okay?
Okay.
Downtown, okay? So
This is a downtown dump.
And if you don't know, email us and we'll tell you.
I'm about to take y'all downtown. Okay, so
She's a bus driver. She's taking us to school.
I had a situation where I have an occasional discomfort in my butt. Okay? And it had been a number of weeks, and I just was really struggling. Like normally they would go away quicker, and I just was really, really tired of the occasional discomfort. So
and it wears on you when you have something
it
that's
does.
fun,
It's
like
exhausting.
I just will do anything.
So we're
what
getting
did you
ready.
do?
Okay, so we're getting ready. So we homeschool our kids. We're getting ready to go to our co-op day. And I just was like, I'm gonna have to sit in a little like toddler church chair, plastic church chair all day, and I'm gonna need a donut. Do you know, like one of those seat donuts? And I was just like, how am I gonna sit in this chair? And I just thought, if I just had something, even to just momentarily take away this discomfort, that would be great. When you're like in that moment of like desperation, you just like use whatever you can find.
You're crying out to the Lord.
Yes.
Take it away.
I probably should have prayed before I made this decision.
Remove this box.
If I would have prayed, I might have made a smarter decision.
Yes. What a win.
So my kids are, let me set it up. So my kids are in my bathroom. They're brushing their teeth. And I'm like, I'm going to use clove oil because clove is great for momentary discomfort.
That's like the hottest of the
It's
hot.
the hottest.
So I don't think I really thought it was a hot oil at the time, but I just knew it was good.
My body is getting flushed. About it. Okay,
I'm getting flushed remembering it. So I just was like literally like desperate. So I go to my oil shelf, I grab the clove, I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, I mean, if one drop's good, 10's better, right? And so I'm like, and I applied the oil.
You were desperate.
And let me just tell y'all, it was like, have you ever watched cartoons? Like Elmer Fudd? And he's like, gets mad and he like the fire like rises in him like this. So I'm sitting there and it starts to get hot. And I was like,
Mama.
I was
and
like,
the kids are still in the
they're in the bathroom. This is, of course, this is all happening
They're
over
still
like
brushing their
5
teeth?
seconds, right? But it seemed like 50 minutes. And I was like, oh no.
coming.
What?
It's going to be a really interesting parent-teacher conference.
What do I do? And so it's like getting hot, and it's like and like literally I could feel it rising like a thermometer through my body. And I'm like, kids, I need you to leave. I was trying to remain very calm.
Like screaming.
I was like, you need to get out. And they're like, we're brushing our teeth. I'm like, you need to get out right now. And they still wouldn't get out. And I start like banging the cabinet, like, get out. And they're
I'm
like,
so impressed that you controlled yourself for that long because, bless it.
I was just like, oh my gosh. And I was like, what do I, like, panic.
Right.
Panic stricken because I'm on fire.
This girl.
And y'all, I'm so hot thinking about it right now. And so I was like, I need coconut oil, right? I need coconut oil.
Carrier,
so I grab my jar of coconut oil and I'm like, because if one's better, a little bit's good, a lot's better, right?
Oh, God.
And I just slather it. So they've exited because I freaked them out. They've run out of the restroom and I'm like stripping. I'm like, there's no like, let me pull my pants down. This is like flailing clothes everywhere. And I'm just like slathering coconut oil. But do you know that coconut oil has a very low melting temperature?
Right.
Which is higher than your body, like lower than your body temperature.
We already established you were literally the temperature.
I'm like,
rising,
I wish I would have taken my temperature to know, but I'm telling you, I was like beading with sweat.
Oh, bless it.
And so the coconut oil starts to melt because I'm sweating and it's running.
Then it's gonna.
everywhere.
So then now you're
It's like running from the back to the front and down my legs and and all the cracks and creases.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
You guys.
did you call 911?
I did not. I was one of those like leaning over like
What are they going to do?
I'm gonna breathe through it. Breathe through it. You guys.
We have a woman
am
with-
not kidding you. I was numb until lunch.
Oh my goodness.
How
did you have to pee?
Well, I mean,
She doesn't know.
well, the only reason I knew I was
She may
numb
have.
till lunch is because when I went to the bathroom, I was like, well, still working. I was like, this is still working. Oh my gosh. Yes. So, moral of the story. Do not apply Clove to areas that are irritated or, open.
Sensitive.
Open to.
Or maybe dilute it first.
Maybe dilute it first.
And you're here to tell about it. I gotta tell
survived.
you, I don't know we can top that story.
It's going to be
I
hard.
don't know because that's maybe one of those Hall of Fame dumb stuff with oils.
Yeah.
It's definitely ranking, yeah.
But can you top it? Can you top
you
that
top
story? Send us your
My butthole
videos.
story.
And make sure this is a family show. So make sure, if
PG.
if we have to bleep things out or whatever, yeah. But we want to hear your dumb stuff with oils. Would you like to make it to the Hall of Fame with our friend Talia?
I'm the reigning champion.
The first and only for now.
We need to talk about, with gut health, we also need to talk pre and probiotics.
Yes.
And so, what do y'all think about our probiotics? What do y'all think about Mighty Pro? First of all, yum for our kids.
Yes.
And so, but adults can take Mighty Pro. We all have one sitting here, but Mighty Pro, it's prebiotic and probiotic. So, who wants to share just a little bit about what a pre and probiotic are?
Well, prebiotics are, she's like,
I'm like this girl right here.
so the prebiotics are food, very simply, for your probiotics. Your probiotics keep your microbiome, your gut microbiome in balance, and if you don't feed them, then they die. So that's what you need. And it's so funny, like the other day, I think I knew this, but I never really thought about it this way. A lot of people do a lot of foods that have a lot of prebiotics in them because that's good for your gut health. Mm-hmm. But if you're not a fan of, and some of those foods have very pungent tastes. And if you're a picky eater, well, it's true. If you're a picky eater or whatever, that may be something that's not as palatable for you. But if you're doing your 2 ounces of NingXia a day, you're getting your prebiotics, because our NingXia Red is a whole fruit puree. It's not a juice. It's not just the juice of the fruit. So when you're getting that, you're getting a prebiotic, and you're feeding your gut that way. So you don't necessarily, we have other products that have prebiotics in them as well. But if you're doing that, you don't have to worry that you're not getting enough of that in your system. So
Very good. Okay, so we have, then not only do we have the Mighty Pro, which it's really yummy, and we're gonna all take one together, but we also have our Life 9. And so Life 9 has 9 different super strains, amazing strains of probiotics that really form a permanent gut colony. They have the adhesion, the ability to adhere and to the gut, the walls of the gut is very strong. So it's very, very effective. And this is one that I take 1 or 2 before bed, and that's how I love it. So.
And a lot of probiotics out there are, you can't just look at how many billion cultures it has, because a lot of products will put in all of these cultures because they die. And if you don't have probiotic strains that are formulated to work together to keep each other going, then they work synergistically together, then that's why they die. And so the cool thing about Life 9 is that all of our strains are formulated to work together to make themselves proliferate more in your gut. So you don't have to worry about all the die-off and you don't have to worry about, and I'm pretty sure that each one of those capsules is actually sealed. So yes, it's good to keep it in a cool place, but you don't have to worry about traveling with it. You don't have to worry about keeping it refrigerated, in a pinch or whatever, because each of those capsules is sealed and it doesn't activate until you take it.
Wow.
which is cool.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
It is amazing. Okay, so the Mighty Pro. This is our kids probiotic, and it's
Kids, wait,
but
adults can take it too.
adults can take it too. And let me just tell you,
It's
they're
like
so
candy.
good. It's like
Pixie sticks.
It's like a
Yeah.
pixie stick, or it reminds me too of the
Cheers.
what's the dip
Cheers.
stuff. And
Fun
so
dip.
fun dip.
Fun dip.
Fun dip. And so this is so yum. It's like, you know, I find myself like before bed, you know how, I don't know if it's just me, y'all, but sometimes I get a little like craving for a little snack before I go to bed, and I shouldn't. And I think, I've got some Mighty Pro. It's like, I'm so excited because I can taste my
And it's not cavity forming.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No
it's
sugar.
good. So yeah, okay.
Okay.
Did y'all do that too? No, I was just like,
Y'all do that
grab your Mighty Pro, because I know you have it,
Ooh,
even
that's
if you
sweet.
don't have children. Because it's so good.
It's really
It's
good.
very sweet. It's very sweet, but it's
so
My
good,
kids,
though.
my kids want that. They would
Yeah.
take it all the time. And I have a son who's non-speaking, and he sees me either get the NingXia Red or the Mighty Pro out. He kind of like perks up and he starts smiling like, "Oh, I'm gonna get mine."
When's the best time to take probiotics?
In the evening.
Yes. And you should actually take your probiotics right before you go to bed, because when your gut is at rest, that's when those probiotics are really working. And so the important thing about this is you can do your nighttime routine, and if your kids want something sweet right before bed, they can down the hatch, and that you don't have to worry about it creating cavities in their mouth.
Oh my goodness. Well, we've learned so much today. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a great show. It's been really great. Make sure you're, grabbing your NingXia Red at least. And
Make sure you're going number 2.
Thanks for watching That Oil Show. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can catch new episodes every first Tuesday of the month. And if you enjoyed learning about these amazing products and want some of your own, reach out to the person who shared That Oil Show with you.